Hey everybody, so Jon David had a pretty decent night last night, and then as the day went on, starting this morning, he started hitting the withdrawal wall, and it smacked him pretty hard. He was spitting up, he was trembling, he was just having typical withdrawal symptoms, but the reason why that is concerning is that, his heart still is not fully recovered, and so we don't want to put more stress specifically on his right ventricle, that RV, because it has had a lot of issues and it has been the cause of every one of his arrests. And so what they did was they ended up going back a little bit up on his dex, which is the one that he really cares about, honestly. They had been weaning his Dilaudid and his Versed and really hadn't had much of a response, and then they started weaning his dex yesterday. And then it basically hit him this morning and kind of started going throughout the day. And then we had to give him a little bit back. So we had gotten down to 1.0. I think last night we were 1.2. And so we had walked it down a little bit more. But then all of this started happening. So we're back to 1.2. So basically back where we were yesterday in terms of dex. The Dilaudid and the Versed are right on the edge of being off. And they're going to hold it there up until they get ready to take them off. The Versed's going to come off sometime in the early morning hours today. Or I guess tonight, going into tomorrow. And then the Dilaudid will come off like right before they extubate, which is still planned for tomorrow. So we're going to hope and pray that that is the case, and that he handles it well. But that is pretty much his day. The scariest thing was that he had a withdrawal episode this evening, which is when we actually went back up on the decks. It was like 6 or 7 o'clock, and his heart rate got up to about 190, and specifically his RAP, which is that another measure of the CVP, the right atrial pressure in the right side of his heart, or the CVP, the central venous pressure, which is measuring that pressure of the right ventricle. They got high, and much higher than what they would like, when he was getting, high heart rate, high blood pressure, high CVP, RAP. So when those got really high, it concerned them, and so gave him back that dex like I was talking about, and he has calmed down since. Since then, he's been in like the 130s, 140s when he's awake. Sometimes he get in the 150s, but as long as he's between like 120, 160, everybody's happy. And as long as that RAP is staying low, everybody's happy. So right now, that is what he's doing. That being said, had a visitor today from Heart to Heart, which is a organization here in the Triangle and is actually started by a lot of families who are here at Duke. And Joy Davis Mullis is one of the leaders of that group. And small world, she's originally from close to where we live now. And so we had some kind of crossover with people that we knew. And also her son, 16 years ago, had cardiac arrest and went on an ECMO run. And so she was one of the first people to really reach out and kind of make contact with me when we were on our first ECMO run, and was really reassuring to have somebody to kind of talk to and look to that had gone through that. And so it was really nice to see her come by today and spend some time with me and talk, and just talk about joining the organization as well. If anybody here is in the Triangle and would like to join, it is called Heart to Heart. Reach out and feel free to join, because it is a wonderful, wonderful organization. Now, that being said, Hunter also had fun today with Mallory. They were down. They went to the dentist, and he actually did really well. Traditionally, he does not do well at the dentist, but today he decided he was going to just do great. And then they went to Build-A-Bear, and he built a bear for him and for Jon David. He had to build a bear for baby brother. And so that was a lot of fun, and it was something they had to go do together. So all in all, pretty good day. And during the middle of the day, I got to have fun and hold Jon David. So it helped him through some of the withdrawals. He was having them pretty bad this morning. In the middle of the day, he kind of settled down. He enjoyed being held. And then when it really hit him this evening, didn't hold a candle to what was going on. So he ended up needing the drugs. But if we can get through it with Tylenol and being held, that's what we're going to try and do. If he needs the drugs to help him out, then that's what we're going to give him. Whatever he needs, we're going to give him. But if y'all would pray for these 3 things: 1, that his extubation will go well tomorrow. We're really, really praying that it will go well and that he will be able to handle it. 2, that he will be able to handle these weans and that his withdrawals will be reasonable, because, again, that one later in the evening today was really rough. And it kind of gave everybody a little scare, because, again, we don't like him getting really high, especially with that RAP, because of his history with his right ventricle. And then Third, pray for all the kiddos and families who are battling CHD. And last thing I want to leave you out with before I go, there have been like 3 different people today who've brought this up, and there have been multiple people who've brought this up throughout this journey. But talking about how positive I've been and how well I've handled all this, I'm going to just be very blunt that without God and His presence and guidance, I would not be handling this anywhere near as well as what I am. And then also, this kind of popped up on my Facebook feed today, and I thought it was very appropriate given that I had 3 people today kind of say this to me, but it's by Alex Hormozy. And it said the single greatest skill is being in a good mood despite having nothing to be in a good mood about. And to me, that is actually a skill you have to choose. And it kind of goes back to the whole phrase that I chose for this with Choose Hope Daily. You have to choose intentionally, especially when things are bad, to have that hope and to be in a good mood, even when there is literally sometimes nothing to be in a good mood about. And I know that is incredibly difficult. I've lived it. I get it. However, I do agree with Alex Hormozy that there are times where things are going incredibly bad and you have to find a way to be in a good mood. And that is a skill that you have to practice and hone. It doesn't just happen. But felt like I should share that because a lot of people have been telling me that I've done a great job with this. And again, I think the credit needs to go where it needs to go, which is without God, I would not have the strength to have pursued and honed that skill. Because without Him, there's no way. I mean, just personally, there's no way I could handle all this without leaning on Him. But hope you'll continue to Choose Hope Daily. Hope you'll have a good night. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow. Jon David, have a great bye-bye.